Welcome back to another episode of Colin Invests, where we try to beat the S&P 500. As you guys know, we've got 4 rules here. We invest in our Roth IRA. We don't use fancy tech. We get in the game. If our money's not being used by a strategy, we're putting it in the S&P 500. And we trade twice a week or less. This is our week 2 recap, and I will go ahead and spoil it for you right here. I've got my stuff pulled up. Last week, the S&P 500 was up 1.08%, and we were up 1.21%. So we beat the S&P 500 last week. Let me show you how we did it with only 6 stocks. So as you guys know, most of our portfolio is also invested in the S&P 500, but we're using the RSI to find some other stocks that we think, at least for a little while, are going to outperform. And so in our first week, we ended up buying 4 tickers: KNSL, HRL, Hormel, like the pepperoni people, TDG, and ADC. And we didn't sell any of them last week. So, for example, here's Hormel. This is what it did last week. The RSI jumped up a little bit. And even though it was over 30, it still didn't get it high enough to trigger a sell for us. We're looking for consistently over 30, around 35 to 40. You look at the graph, there's no super clear-cut metric here. Last week, Hormel, TDG, and ADC all lost a little bit, less than 1%, but KNSL had a boon. KNSL went up 10.7% in the last 5 days, and that really ballooned us. You know, with some trading strategies, you're going to have a huge winner and some small losers. It seems like that might be what's going on with us right now. Anywho, at the beginning of this week, we ran our algorithm again. So it looked through every single stock to see if there were any new RSI buy signals, any new tickers where the RSI was below 30. And we had 2 buys. We had KEX and VRTX. I put VRTX as yellow here because, as you know, we check our RSI against the 1340 weekly SMA cross. And here's what that graph looked like. And so even though the short-term SMA is about to cross the long-term one, the short-term SMA isn't growing. It's just kind of stagnant. So it was a slight concern for us. I ended up not putting as much into VRTX as we did put into KEX. And on these 2 stocks, we actually lost this week compared to the S&P. KEX was down 1.8%. Vertex was up 1.8%, so they were pretty much a wash. But this past week, the S&P was up an entire percent. So, what do we think about that? Well, hey, we're playing this out. This is the law of large numbers at hand. Over time, we really believe that this strategy is going to beat the S&P 500. This is a really quick video. We've got another one coming about how to build your trading algorithm. So give us a follow if you are interested in that. Please follow this and share it with friends who are interested. Yeah, this isn't a super flashy channel, but I really think that the content on here works. I believe in it. If you believe in it too, share it with someone who you think could benefit from it. See y'all in the next one.